So welcome back to the 22nd annual home buyer fair. For the next few minutes, we'll be discussing about choosing the right realtor. For the first 15 minutes will be English, y los últimos 15 minutos será en español. Stay tuned until the end of the segment to see how you can enter in winning a gift card. Bienvenidos a todos en nuestro segundo home buyer fair. Durante los próximos 20 minutos hablaremos sobre el agente, vocabulario. Los primeros 15 minutos serán en inglés y los últimos serán en español. Estén atentos hasta el final del segmento para ver cómo pueden para ganar una tarjeta de regalo. Mi nombre es Chip y soy local Homes. Hoy estamos con y Luis Zamora para hablar sobre propietario y adecuado. Okay. So there's a couple questions that can you hear me?
Yes, a little bit of an echo, but I'm breaking up a little bit. But
okay, hopefully we won't have that problem.
That's better. Yeah, it's getting better.
Okay, so the first 15 minutes will be in English, and the first question is, what areas do you cover?
Right now, we cover most of the Rio Grande Valley, from Rio Grande and to about Harlingen, because we're dealing with two associations that we're involved in our brokerage. So we can cover those areas from that point to that point.
Yeah, basically Starr County to Cameron County. We've also done some projects in Willacy County as well. So we're valley-wide.
Great. Do you have a recommended vendors list that you offer to the customers?
We do have working relationships with certain inspectors, pest control companies, also subcontractors, contractors that be able to assist throughout the whole process of the home buying.
Mortgage companies as well.
Good. What is more or less your average number of clients that you get?
We try to work with maybe just a handful of clients because we want to provide, good customer service, which is very important to us. That old saying, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew. And if that were the case, I can just, we have other realtors and within our brokerage that we could recommend and refer them to so we can get them the attention that they need.
Mm-hmm. And do the customers that go to you, do you require a pre-approval from them before showing them any homes?
We don't require it per se. However, it's pretty much a common practice that if you're going to make an offer on a house, the agent that's listing the property that represents a seller is going to say, or they're going to ask you to provide a pre-approval letter from a mortgage company, a lender, a bank, or proof of funds to show that they have enough cash to buy the property. The reason for that is that the seller doesn't want to go under contract and remove their house from the market without having some type of reasonable assurance that the proposed purchaser is able to secure funds to buy the house. So that is pretty much a common practice, is to, if the agent, the real estate agent that's representing the buyer is going to be proposing an offer, a contract on the house, that it be accompanied by a proof of funds or approval letter from a lender.
Okay. And usually, how long has the home been on the market before you start showing to the customers?
When we put a property on the market, typically, I've seen a house get off the market, go under contract within hours of being on the market, but it could last months, even maybe over a year. Depends. You got to just trust your realtor and handle their advice on what your property is worth. You can't really get too emotionally attached to your property, and take their advice, and they're going to do all the proper comparables of what your property is worth, and that's you follow their advice, then maybe you get your house off the market much quicker.
Let me add something to that. That days on the market is driven by many variables. As Leo said, you want, if you're representing the seller, you want to put the house up for sale for what it's worth, not overvalue it. You won't have anybody showing it. You know, the realtors are smart. You know, they know, well, that house is way overpriced. Let's not show it. And besides that, even if you are able to get somebody that offers you that crazy number, the house will still need to be appraised for the lender, because the lender's not going to loan money based on a purchase price that the house would never appraise for. So that's an important factor too. As realtors, we are required to be educated in what the market is. So as Leo said, we run comparable sales to see what other homes in the area are selling for. That way, so that when you go to the appraisal, then the lender will approve the appraisal and you go forward. Another variable on how quickly a house sells is the price range. Right now, I'm just going to use McAllen as an example. If you have a house that's listed for, let's say, $100,000 to $125,000, I can guarantee you on your first day of putting it on the market, you're going to have multiple offers, because there isn't that many houses in that price range in McAllen. So you've got realtors that are checking every morning to see if there's a new listing in that price range, 100 to 125. That's a bargain. You know, let's jump on it. You've got buyers that are looking every day. So then if as soon as it hits the market, boom, you've got offers coming in right away. So those are the two main factors in respect to what drives the days on the market.
Okay, interesting. And what about to those who are interested in finding a realtor, but they have their own lot? Would you be able to assist them with any help?
Have their own what?
Find their own what?
Like, let's say they have their own lot, but they want the help of a
So
realtor.
They have their own lot and they want to sell their lot? Or
They want to build on it.
Building and all that.
Well, we do have work with certain builders that we can recommend, and set up appointments and see who they're more comfortable with, and typically they'll get to choose themselves, and we can go start that process from there. I don't know what else you want to add to that.
I mean, as one of your first questions was whether or not we have a preferred list of vendors. Okay, so we work with realtors. We also have our own in-house custom home builder that we could recommend in addition to others. And as Leo said, we'll sit down, we'll look at if you have your own plans. If you don't have your own plans, we have procured architects, designers that will design a home based on whatever specifications you have. Okay, but as realtors, we're not involved in the building. We can just refer them, the lot owners, property owners to builders.
Okay. And who pays for your services? Let's just say me as a buyer or the seller who is trying to sell his home.
Typically, it's always the seller that's going to pay those services. If I'm working with the buyer, then the buyer's getting a realtor for free, and the seller's the one that's actually paying for the services.
Okay. So I'm not sure what you have as far as recommendations that you offer to your customers when looking for a real estate agent.
I'll go for that. I think you should talk to a couple, 2 or 3 different agents and see who you can work with. Ask a lot of questions. Ask how many years of experience that they have as a realtor. Let's say you can ask how many sales have you had in the last 6 months or 12 months or such. You want them to know. The more information, the better. But you want your agent, the one that's representing you as a seller or as a buyer, to be competent, which is one of the canons that we have as a realtor, that you know your market, that you be educated in your field, that you keep up with all of the continuing education classes so that you're abreast of all the new developments that are coming in. There's new legislation that comes in that affects the real estate code for the state of Texas. Every year, the contracts that we use are revised by the Real Estate Commission to make sure to close loopholes. If they find out, if they see that there's a lot of lawsuits that are coming as a result of a certain specific paragraph in the contract, then what they do is they have their team of attorneys, on-staff attorneys, as well as a group of brokers to review the contract and decide, okay, you know what? We've seen 100 cases come in because of this specific paragraph. There's either a loophole in it, or it doesn't address certain issues, or there's a new trend that allows for these lawsuits to be coming in. So they come up with new terms for the contract. It's reviewed by the attorneys. It's reviewed by a panel of experienced brokers. They make recommendations for changes to the contract, and they come in. That's one of the things that we have to keep informed of, and that's part of our duty, what they call a fiduciary relationship to our clients, is to be able to serve them properly, professionally.
We'll see if maybe perhaps the audience has any other questions for you before we go into the Spanish segment. Okay. So it looks like we'll move on to Spanish.
Okay. That should be fun.
Okay. So the first question will be again, requiere una aprobación previa antes de ver casas.
You were going to answer. You want me to? I can't say in Spanish. I can't. Okay. No es un requisito tener una carta de su prestamista, pero es muy buena idea tener ya preparado su carta al precio que pueden comprar. ¿Ok? Ahora, si nosotros somos realtors, tenemos compradores que representamos, por lo regular es muy común que la gente que representa al vendedor les va a pedir una carta, porque ellos no quieren que su casa lo quitan del mercado en venta, esperando que esos compradores puedan sacar su financiamiento. Entonces, para asegurar que es probable o mejores chances que sean aprobados y puedan comprar la casa, es muy buena idea que ellos tengan su carta ya del banco prestamista.
Okay. ¿Y por cuánto tiempo ha estado la casa en el mercado antes que señala la casa al cliente?
Pues depende del el que está vendiendo la casa.
Right.
Puede estar por un día a un año, depende, permita que trust su realtor para evaluar la casa correcto con todos las casas que están alrededor de la colonia o de la ciudad, a cómo se está vendiendo, a qué precio.
El precio es muy importante también en cuántos días se va a tomar para vender. Ahorita, pues si usted tiene una casa que vale de 100,000 hasta 125,000 en la ciudad de McAllen, pues no hay muchas de esas casas en ese rango de precio. Entonces, el primer día que se pone en el mercado, vamos a tener 2, 3, 4 propuestas ofertas en la casa. Entonces, eso es muy importante. Al contrario, si es una casa que vale $500,000, hay muy poca gente aquí en el Valle que puede calificar para un préstamo, tienen los recursos para comprar esa casa. Esa casa se va a tomar 2 meses, quizás 6 meses para venderlo. Entonces, precio es muy importante en cuánto tiempo se va a tomar para vender.
Uh-huh. Y de un agente de vender casas, ¿también dan sobre servicios de renta?
Yes, sí. También podemos buscar para gente que quiere rentar nomás casas, apartamentos, y podemos buscar, como dijimos antes, todo el valle. Y sí, pues sí, hay podemos también hacer eso.
Y nosotros también tenemos una compañía que maneja varias propiedades que se rentan, principalmente casas, single family homes, y manejamos
71.
61 casas que tenemos en renta. Ahorita estamos 100% ocupados, no tenemos nada disponible, pero sí también podemos asesorar gentes que buscan rentar una casa.
Okay. ¿Y en qué áreas cubres?
Todo el valle,
Todo el
desde de Starr County hasta Cameron County, Willacy County. En la isla también hemos tenido propiedades en venta. Entonces, realmente nuestra licencia para ser agentes de bienes y raíces cubre todo el estado de Texas. Entonces, si usted tiene una propiedad en Austin, San Antonio, Lubbock, Houston, también les podemos asesorar en esas ciudades también.
Y también tienes una lista que así recomiendas a los clientes sobre todos los servicios que ustedes tienen, o sea, para los clientes.
Sí, tenemos una lista de todo eso que podemos recomendar para la gente y pueden hablar a esas personas a ver con quién se puede, les dan mejor precio y de ahí pueden escoger a ver.
Okay. ¿Y cuáles son más o menos el número promedio de clientes que ustedes tienen?
Bueno, eso depende. En el agente hay varias agentes de bienes raíces que tienen 20, 30 clientes, pero lo más importante es que el agente puede dar los servicios profesionales a sus clientes. Entonces, si por ejemplo se me llena la cocina de agua y tengo muchos clientes, entonces le paso a Leo. Tenemos otros agentes también que aquí en la oficina que podemos mandar a estos clientes, porque cualquier agente le puede poner la casa en venta, le puede ayudar con varios, pero lo importante es dar el servicio profesional a los clientes. Entonces tratamos de no tener 20 clientes con quien estamos trabajando, pero servicio es número uno aquí.
Muy bien. Y todos los agentes que ustedes sepan, sí cobran el mismo rate, o sería diferente.
Todo es negociable. ¿Okay? Por lo regular, si vamos a poner una casa en venta, cobramos el 6% del precio en que se vende la casa, pero todo es negociable. Por ejemplo, si es una casa de $500,000, pues el 6% es mucho dinero. Quizás el vendedor dice, pues vamos a ponerla en venta por 5%. ¿Okay? Entonces, todo se puede negociar.
¿Y cómo uno de un cliente puede buscar un agente de raíz?
Pues el internet, ahí pues.
Internet y también word of mouth, o sea, preguntar
a la gente.
Gente, familia, amigos, oye, ¿quién le dio buen servicio en la compra de su casa? Yeah, so.
Aquí estás hablando con unos dos, aquí estamos.
Muy bien, vamos a ver si acaso que hay otras preguntas.
I saw a question come up just now, but I didn't have a chance to read it.
I think it was that one.
Was that one?
Yes.
Okay.
There's some live comments here. Is that
Okay, so that sounds like we should be wrapping it up. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, of course, to Leo and Luis for providing us such great information. The keyword for this segment is realtor. You can send an email to info@thehomebuyersfair.org with that word for a chance to win a gift card. Gracias por todos acompañarnos hoy y gracias a Leo y Luis por tan buena información. La palabra clave para este segmento es agente de bienes raíces.
Raices.
Envíe un correo electrónico a info@thehomebuyersfair.org con esa palabra para tener la oportunidad de ganar una tarjeta de regalo. Gracias.